Alright, so this is gonna be a little bit different video than I usually do. Most people know me from reactions, well, not as much anymore, not even many reviews recently, but I'm getting back to it. But this is not what this video is gonna be about. This is gonna be about a very different topic because I want to kind of mix reviews with other sort of discussions that I think is interesting. And the thing I want to talk about today is something that might not be as big on YouTube, but it's very, very much more trending on X, as I've seen at least. And that is the whole new situation with the simulcasting for the new season of ReZero, which is on Muse Asia's YouTube channel, which I think is in Southeast Asia or East Asia. And the thing that has upset many people from what I've seen, including some very big anime YouTubers actually, which surprises me a lot actually, but it's the whole situation where the YouTube channel for Muse Asia has the license for the new season of ReZero, but they don't simulcast it the same day, but instead, as I understood it, they delay it 2 weeks. Now, the thing I've seen many people say online, and even some big anime YouTubers, is that they directly blame Crunchyroll for this. Which, I mean, first of all, I'm not against criticism of Crunchyroll because, I don't have any sponsorship with them. I don't really get paid to defend them in any way. I'm just a normal guy watching anime. And I do agree that Crunchyroll has made mistakes before. That is valid criticism. We can take the localizer situation, for example, and the recent. I don't think it's confirmed, but the possible data breach, and if that is the case, that is also very serious, and that is also something that is 100% valid to criticize Crunchyroll for. I agree with that. But there are also things that I feel that many people put the blame. They kind of bark on the wrong tree when at some cases, and this is one of the cases where people say directly this is Crunchyroll's fault that Muse Asia is now delaying the episode for 2 weeks on Muse Asia's YouTube channel, which now I haven't really been to, I haven't been in the negotiation, I don't know what happened there, but I think most of the people complaining online hasn't been there either. So they cannot say who made the final call on this. They cannot say if it's Crunchyroll or Muse Asia or whatever. And I will say that especially to the bigger anime YouTube channels who has a lot more subscribers than I do, that seems to be spreading this information. And some of them even, well, one of them, I'm not going to mention name, but one of them even directly blame Crunchyroll without any confirmed source of anything. And I think that's very irresponsible to do. Like I said, it's okay to criticize Crunchyroll if it is, if there is a valid reason and there is confirmation that something happened. I have nothing to say if that is the case. But in this case, I think it's very unfair. Now, let's look at it from what I understand. Muse Asia is not just limited to their YouTube channel. It's also, I think, from what I understood, they are the ones licensing anime in the East Asia or the Southeast Asia region, right? So it's not just their YouTube channel, but also other platforms such as Bilibili or EQ, I think that's how it's pronounced. And based on when I looked at live shorts, for example, it seems like not just the YouTube channel, but also Bilibili and EQ is going to have the episodes as well. But as I also understood it, the EQ and Bilibili platforms are going to have it the same day. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't live in Southeast Asia, so I don't use that platform. But that's how I understood it. So there's still a possibility for people in Southeast Asia to watch the episode the same day as I understood it. And so I'm still kind of questioning what's the point on complaining if there's actually no problem. Now, I do agree on one thing, and that is that Muse Asia's YouTube channel is very good for people who want to watch anime legally and for free. I think that's a very good thing that Muse Asia has done. But we also have to remember that YouTube is mainly a platform for people to upload their videos, right? It's not really a streaming platform for shows. And the fact that Muse Asia has been able to get some animes up and running there is something to be grateful for, because I would say it's more of a bonus than a rule, really, that we even have some animes on YouTube, actually. Because if I have to guess, it's if they put all the anime, let's say they put all the Crunchyroll catalog on YouTube and people are able to just watch it there for free, I think it's not going to work in a physical way. I don't think, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's so rare to see anime on YouTube, for example. That's why we have these platforms such as Bilibili or Crunchyroll or whatever, where you pay the subscription, and that's how the anime distributors get their money to keep making anime. Now, of course, there are debates, especially with Crunchyroll, how much does the studios or the licensors get from Crunchyroll. That's a long discussion we can have, but not in this video. But I would still say overall, it gives a lot more than piracy, for example. Like, for people who absolutely hate on a streaming platform and only then uses piracy to be some kind of heroes, I think that's not a very, very good way to do it, because I think it does more harm than it does good, actually. Now, back to the point. So I would also say that I wouldn't blame Crunchyroll on this situation with Muse Asia at all, actually. Because if you ask me personally, first of all, Crunchyroll is not the major streaming platform in these regions. It's actually Muse who is. And Muse, get the animes to both YouTube but also the other platforms such as Bilibili or Ikkyu, as I understood it. So I don't think really Crunchyroll has much to say there, actually. I think this is more of a decision between the distributor, I think it's Kodakawa, and Muse, if anything. And I would also say, despite the delay on the anime episode with 2 weeks on YouTube, there's still the option to watch it on other platforms in those regions. I don't really see the problem, more than maybe you have to either pay for the anime or you have to make an account at least, and I don't think that's a big deal. Then you kind of have the same terms as people who pay for Crunchyroll anyway, so I don't see the problem here. And I mean, I also have some other thoughts about this. I would actually, now if you ask me personally, I would say I would probably focus more on my blame on Muse Asia rather than Crunchyroll, actually, because of this situation. Because let's say that Muse Asia only uploaded the episodes to the platforms such as Bilibili, for example, but didn't have any plans to upload it on YouTube for whatever reason. There was no plans beforehand on doing it or whatever. I don't think we would have had this discussion. People wouldn't have been coming out and said, oh, it's Crunchyroll's fault for that it never was uploaded on YouTube in the first day. We would probably never have those discussions at all, actually. I would think, it would just be, here is on Crunchyroll and here is on Bilibili or whatever, and that's that. But because Muse, I don't know how the decision was made, but I cannot really understand the priority to have ReZero on YouTube at the same time as you have it on other platforms in the same region, if you know that this episode is going to be delayed anyway for 2 weeks on YouTube. What is the point of that? What do you get out of that? I do not understand it. I would say maybe it's a bonus for people who maybe they cannot pay for anime for whatever reason. Maybe it's fiscal reasons that they just are unable to pay for that service. And in that case, it's very nice of them to have the possibility to watch it on YouTube. With that said, if you watch it for free on YouTube, for example, or if you watch it for free anyway, in a legal way anyway, it's not surprising to me that there's a catch that you have to wait a week or two for the episode. That's how Crunchyroll used to work anyway before, because it's like the saying, you get what you pay for, pretty much. And most people who watch it on YouTube probably doesn't pay even for YouTube Premium, I think. So it's kind of like this isn't weird at all. You know, if you want to watch it seasonal, then go pay for it on Bilibili or EQ or whatever, if they have it, and you know you will be able to watch it on the same day if you just pay a little bit of money for it. You know, it's not that hard, really. So that's my point of view, because I've seen other people also post about this situation, but mostly it's been about the whole drama where people directly blame Crunchyroll and say, oh, this is Crunchyroll's fault. But as I said, we don't know. And I still question the choice from the beginning. Why would you have the show on YouTube with 2 weeks delay if you already have it on Bilibili or EQ or whatever? Why would you even consider, unless for people who might not be able to have accounts or might not be able to pay for anime for whatever valid reasons. But other than that, I do not understand the reason to even have it on YouTube in the first place if you're going to have those kind of terms on YouTube. In that case, I would rather focus on just having it on Bilibili or EQ, and people watch it from there. So I put most of the blame on Muse, actually, on this. I think if Muse, if the terms for Muse wasn't like this, that they had to put it on YouTube with 2 weeks delay, we wouldn't have this discussion. It wouldn't be this kind of drama over ReZero like this. So yeah, those are my thoughts, and you're free to comment what you think, but that's my reason. I don't blame Crunchyroll for this. And even if Crunchyroll had a saying in this, to me it doesn't matter, because there are other ways to watch it. So especially legally. So what's the problem? So I mean, if you have it on YouTube and on a streaming platform, the people in East Asia actually have it way better than for us who have to rely on only one platform and not YouTube. So you can complain if you want to, but you guys are very lucky, actually. Anyway, that's all I can say. Have a nice day. Bye.